Good evening. It looks like we have everybody. It's the top of the hour. If everyone's ready to roll, we can begin. Let me just check the attendees. All right. Actually, hold on a second. We're missing one person. Okay, never mind. They're here. Okay, so welcome the May meeting of ANC 1C's Alcohol Beverage Control and Public Safety meeting. I hope everyone's doing well. It's nice weather, so it's easy to be doing well. I guess we'll just begin. We have Captain Hong here from the 3rd District of MPD to give a monthly crime report. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to see everyone. So I'll go over briefly the crime report for the month of April. And these numbers are comparing this past April to last year. Overall, the crime is up from 21 to 52 total crime. Most of it's due to different types of thefts. 3 of those crimes were violent crimes. All the others were property crimes. We had 2 robberies and 1 assault with a dangerous weapon. We have 2 of those cases being closed with arrest. On April 23rd, around 3:06 p.m., we had a robbery gun in the 1700 block of Columbia Road Northwest, where 2 suspects approached the victim in the rear garage of Safeway, pointed a gun, took property, and then took property, which was the keys, among other items, and then stole the victim's car, which was parked in the garage. That is an open, ongoing case. On the 12th, we had around 2:16 p.m. a robbery, force and violence in the 2400 block of 18th Street Northwest, where 4 to 5 suspects shoved the victim from behind and assaulted the victim, taking property. And then further investigation revealed some of the suspects attempted to use the credit card. Cell phone track allowed the apprehension of a suspect who had possession of the victim's property, and that was closed with an arrest. And then on the 8th of April, around 6:20 p.m., we had the assault with dangerous weapon knife in the 1700 block of Columbia Road Northwest, where the suspect argued with the victim, then brandished a knife and made motions in the direction of the victim while repeatedly approaching the victim. No injuries, and officers were able to locate, stop, and arrest the suspect in that case. And then overall, there were some follow-up information. I know 18th and Florida, commissioner had asked about the camera devices on the pole. So we've been checking with, we checked with MPD, our crime research specialists, and we've also been reaching out to DDOT and other agencies. So far, we know it's not MPD, it's not DDOT, those devices, and we're trying to see if there's any other who the devices might belong to. And in reference to the vehicular homicide on 18th and Columbia, I spoke with the major crash detective, and they advised that it's still ongoing. The case is before the prosecutors, but at this time, the information stays the same. They clarified, they determined that the victim was in the crosswalk and there was no contributing factors of any substance or speed, things like that. So until we get the results from the prosecutors, right now they've done their part and we're just waiting for an update. Is there any other concerns?
The last one with the 18th and Columbia, you said, when did that occur? I might have lost track.
Oh, that was Nina Larson.
Oh, so 18th and Biltmore. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Just a matter of feet, just making sure. Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
Did you have anything on that robbery in the 1800 block of Wyoming on April 30th? that I emailed about when I emailed about the cameras at 18th in Florida also?
Let me see. Sorry, I'm gonna take a quick look on my computer. I think the one other crime that I had looked into was the 18th in California, which was reported to be a possible traffic crash involving a pedestrian, which resulted in that actually being a domestic assault investigation. And that one, the detectives are still investigating. But let me see.
Yeah. The other one was I'd sent you the email and I mentioned the robbery and the 18th in Florida camera issue in the same one.
Gotcha. All right, I got this one.
And it was right at the end of April, so I'm surprised it didn't show up in the recitation you just went through.
Yeah. 1800 Wyoming. So I see that you were able to include the event ID. That'll help me actually locate the incident quickly, but I'm actually on a different computer now, so I can't pull it up. But after this meeting, I can follow up and shoot you an email update.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? Commissioner Falskini, go ahead.
Thank you. Only other question is, you said that that property crimes overall have gone up month on month, 21, I believe, to 52, and that 3 of those were violent. How does that compare to year on year? The 3 violent, is that similar, or is that also up?
Oh yeah, so the total crime, including violent and property, went from 21 to 52. Violent crime for the April of 2021, there were 0, and this year we have 3. And then the property crime last year we had 21, and this year we have 49.
Okay, so it's also up, the violent crime.
Yeah.
For the property crimes, that includes like all the kind of package thefts and building break-ins and all the other stuff that we've been trying to work with you on over the past month.
Yeah. So burglaries actually remain the same at 0. Theft from autos increased to 9. All other thefts that don't include theft from autos or vehicle thefts went up to 29, and that includes shoplifting, anything like that. And then motor vehicle thefts went up to 11.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Captain.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions? All right, I don't have any either. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your time as always. Have a
Sure.
great
And I'll
day.
follow up on the 1800 Wyoming and send an email.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So the rest of our agenda is liquor renewals. I do want to move, I'm open to discussion this because it was last week, but there were 5 more. I moved to add the 5. It's Soci, El Tamarindo, what are the other ones? I have the list right here. Yerevan, Buca di Beppo, and Glory. So if anyone has issues, we can obviously discuss, and we don't have to, but I'll move to add those 5 to the agenda. 3 of them are in my SMD. Haven't had a single issue. They've been good. Can I get a second on that?
Second, same.
Bring it to a vote. All in favor of the addition, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Oh, well, sorry.
We'll discuss the
Yeah, can we discuss that for a second? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I have no problem with adding them to the agenda. The thing is that really what I feel like we should be doing is asking for neighborhood input, because I have no problem with those restaurants, but I'm not a neighbor in a lot of those places. So I think that what I think that might be part of our due diligence is to post it on the listserv and bring it. And if that means skipping committee next month. I don't know the timing on them because I didn't read the petitions. Like I think the dates have all gotten I think there's, whatever. If you just got them, then we probably have 45 days. But I guess what I'm saying is, it's less of a, I think my personal opinion, and I think this is generally the renewal thing, is it's less about adding them to the agenda and then getting them off of the agenda. It's more like, let's post them to the listserv and get neighborhood input. And then if no neighborhood input is needed, then our job is done. Like, it's almost like, does that make sense? And so we can add them to today's agenda. But I think really the due diligence is posting them to the listserv for neighbors to say they are good neighbors or not. And with the assumption that no news is good news. Does that make sense? That's so.
Yeah, same mentality. I think that's fair. I mean, just for timeliness to have the opportunity to discuss it if need be, but being able to put it on the listserv. I mean, yeah, this like the two-part thing. We represent the constituents, but having people come forth as well is definitely an important part of the process. So go ahead.
So for that, so in terms of that, and if they have just been received, the next committee hearing would probably be within the 45 days. So for that fact, I would be disinclined to vote to add them to this week's agenda because there has been no neighborhood notice.
I see what you're saying. I do know that in my case, for several months, I've tried to generally solicit, but not specifically for institutions. So for whatever that's worth, we've had that opportunity, but
yeah, I mean,
so yeah,
I agree. I mean, I guess it'll get on the names of these institutions will get on the listserv because either the report out from this committee or a notification for next committee meeting. But so I'm of two minds. I would hate to get to the 45 days and then have a neighbor say, I've never heard of this. I would like to complain or something.
No, of
or
course.
There's some massive traffic thing that we don't know anything about, something like that. So that's my 2 cents.
That's a good point. So what would be the disadvantage, if any, to adding it to tonight's? Because there'd still be opportunity for people to speak about it, June 2nd or 3rd or whatever it is, correct? So what would be the disadvantage of adding, if any?
Yeah, no, I think because if we add it to, what I was thinking was if we add these new ones without notification, if we add them to today's agenda, then they are done with and we won't add them to next month's agenda. So what I'm saying is we could add them to next month's agenda today. And that gives, and then when the Secretary Falaskini sends out the neighborhood notification, there are going to be like 4 weeks of, by the way, here are 5 restaurants in renewal season. So that gives everybody in the neighborhood. So the people here, like Mama Aisha's, that notification has probably been on the listserv at least twice, I think, because that was like 2 weeks ago. So that's all I'm saying. It's just, it's less about the being on the committee's agenda and more about being in the neighborhood's sightline.
No, that definitely makes sense. I guess I was just thinking kind of out loud where it's like, if we would add to tonight's agenda, would people still have the opportunity to be able to raise it in the meantime before a full meeting in June in order to, and also how that aligns with the renewal process, which I know has been shifted a couple times. So I just want to make sure that's fine. I think it's fine.
Do you have, I'm just pulling up Mama Aisha's. And to Brian's point, it's like, let's say you said, I don't even want to use a name because this is being recorded, but let's say you say Joe's Bar, and then you just got notification of Joe's Bar yesterday. And so we want to add it to today's agenda. But we would have until, from the middle of June, which would easily incorporate June's committee hearing.
But it would include July's general meeting. Would be just
right? I mean, it's a little tough because you'd have to, we'd have to sort of. But I guess what I'm saying is, the license renewal will go ahead unless somebody says they're not being a good neighbor. So, in that sense, I mean, I think it's sort of half a dozen of one and six of the other, because I think if we put it on tonight's agenda and then tonight's agenda is reported out to the community, then the community will hear the names on the listserv. And that's really the diligence that I'm talking about. The diligence is the neighbors need to hear that these 10, 12, 15 restaurants are up for renewal. That's really the thing about it. And that, and if somebody complains, being on the agenda is even less of an issue. Just we need to
Just add it to our June. I mean, that was my next question. Is there anything
at that
preventing
point?
us?
Sorry.
No, that's just my question, I guess, is if there's anything preventing us from following this meeting, saying like verbatim, these words added late, but if you do have any concerns, there's still opportunity in the community because that's what we want to do, right?
Exactly. And that can be reported out in the listserv announcement. Yeah.
Yeah. Jake.
I just checked all three of them and their hearing dates are all of them, and their hearing dates are July 11th. So that actually would give us time to operate on this in the July 6th ANC meeting if we needed to, so that, putting it up in June ABC committee, and then if needed, acting at July 6th for a July 11th deadline works if we need to be able to do that. So we may as well if we have that time.
Yeah, I mean, I see now that we've discussed it, there's no real reason against that if the timeline fits. I just hadn't looked into it. Okay, so I'll just withdraw my motion. I want to stick with tonight's agenda. That's easy.
Cool.
All right. So,
sounds good.
I won't recite the entire list, but I do have it open. Anyone have any issues? I think a lot of these were in 1207. Last month we had one that was kind of rescinded. I haven't heard any issues. I've been a patron in all these places. They've been great. But I know I think of one or two is in 1203. They've been pretty good. Juicy King Crab Express has been super quiet. They work very closely with their immediate next door neighbors very well. They work together on a settlement agreement. Anything else?
I haven't got any complaints on any of these. And it's been posted up. It's been posted on my list. It's been posted to the Adams Morgan list several times. So having heard none objections, I have none either.
That's good. I'll move to not move, right? All right. So that was an easy meeting. Good to see everyone. Let's adjourn. Have a great